office. I don't need the microphone. And I haven't been exposed to COVID. We have a friend whose body is currently the battleground for chemical warfare with cancer. And so we're trying to watch out for her immunocompromised situation. And as Russell mentioned, I was associated with the Partnership for Pastoral Counseling. I got to meet a lot of great people, and I'm grateful for that. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm grateful for that machine that Michael is sitting on, and the people that came up with that. Because I know something about what that machine means to my life. I am the most successful client of Michael Hester and the Pastoral Counseling and Growth Session, or Growth Center. I had exactly one session with Michael about 8 years ago when I was just feeling really overwhelmed and couldn't find my bearings. And Michael asked piercing, spiritually based questions. He said, "Mark, what are you eating for breakfast?" And I told him I generally had a bowl of cereal. And Michael says, "You got to have some protein for breakfast." And he said, "Mark, what are you doing for exercise?" And I said, "Well, I like to go out and walk when I can." And he said that he had started walking around the farm every single morning and tried to get at least a mile every morning. Well, perhaps coincidentally, very shortly thereafter, we accidentally bought 2 Labrador Retriever puppies. And every day since then, before the sun comes up, I'm out in the most beautiful coves in this county with those dogs. And I've learned that the point of it is not to get exercise with your legs. That only happens while you are getting exercise with your heart and your head. And I have also had the privilege of developing very intimate relationships with some of our large furry neighbors, salamanders. I have a beautiful collection of feathers from birds of every species. And just yesterday, for example, I don't know how many of you are familiar with internal family systems. It's a way of looking at who we are. And I had discovered while laying awake all night that there is a part that I have that, for lack of a better word, is the Incredible Hulk. And I keep the Incredible Hulk chained, tied down in a nuclear bunker as much as I can. But I was out walking with my head down on a gravel road, worrying, brooding, thinking, what is this thing in me? And if you hadn't noticed, it's been the most beautiful place in America around here recently. But I had my head down, and I came across a piece of mica about the size of a quarter. And where we live in Patton Cove Road, there used to be a mica mine, and so there's a bit of mica around. But I'm 66 years old, and I never realized that if you get a piece of mica, a flake that's only 1 crystal thick, and you look down on it, and the sun is over your shoulder, what you see is a reflection, a beautiful, like a mirror reflection of your brooding, ugly face. But I accidentally picked it up, and I could see my fingers on the other side of the mica. And then I lifted it up to the sky and realized that I could see the moon, which had risen just an hour before the sun in the sky above me, broken like into a kaleidoscope through this piece of mica, and saw beauty that I had never seen before. And then I looked around. Without my head down, I looked up, and I saw things that I was just unaware of. And so, Michael, thank you from the bottom of my heart for telling me to get up and go for a walk every morning and having some protein with breakfast. And I hope that you enjoy your outdoor scooter.
Outdoor mobility scooter.
Outdoor mobility scooter, except I know you got to pay close attention on the slopes of the farm while you're driving it. So now and then, stop, take a moment, and look up. Thanks, Michael.
Michael, it's your turn.